You're looking at a breadfruit tree right now. Used to be the staple of the Polynesian people. Now it's not. Now they have croissant and French bread. The French now allow the Polynesians to learn their own language, but that's a new thing. It occurred after the riots in the 60s. Those riots, nationalists and radicals tore down most of Pomare Boulevard, the shops. They wanted all the tourists out, the French out. They wanted to go back to the way things were. Impossible, of course. But now the French allow the Polynesians at least to learn their own language. And the French are pretty civilized people, but when it comes to Polynesia, they are unreconstructed colonialists. If they could wipe out the language, they could wipe out the culture and wouldn't remind them of what was here once. Yes, we're going to Nuku Hiva, yes. They say the tattooing is better there than anywhere. Is it true?
Yes.
It is? All right. I'm going to board this bus, the truck, to Motu Utu in order to find the freighter that goes to Nuku Hiva in the Marquesas, where everyone assures me that the best tattoos are to be had. I want to talk to the crew members. Oh, to the crew. And
washing
washing the ship?
Yeah, washing. But you can go.
Madame Tamara?
Tamara.
Tamara, is she on the ship? On this ship, the crew members give tattoos, so they say, I'll find out. What's his name? No. The man on tattooage. Okay. Yes. Can I take a picture of that?
Yes.
Yes. All right. I'm going to the market.
Yes, I know. I suppose that you go.
No, I'm not going in the ship. We don't have time. We don't have time. We're flying tomorrow, and I'm looking for it's a rainy season in Papaete. It's morning, Saturday morning. We're going to Nuku Hiva this morning on the quest of the perfect tattoo. Is this what the well-tattooed man can expect? On our way to Nuku Hiva, we stopped in Rangiroa. Rangiroa is an atoll. From the air, it looks like a giant sperm whale, hollowed out on the inside. In the inside, there's a lagoon. It's just a fringe of sand and palm trees with a lagoon in the middle, and a population here. We'll be here for 20 minutes on our way to Nuku Hiva. There's a strong trade wind blowing from the ocean. That's the ocean side. Here's the lagoon side. You can see what a giant atoll this is. I'm looking at the lagoon and you can't even see across to the other side. Of course, the horizon on the other side is flat, so there's not much to look at. There are obviously some things to do here. A beach club. The terminal is made Polynesian style, high, open, to let the breezes blow through. Here's refueling in Rangaroa. Here's how it's done.
Once they got off their Air Tahiti flight from Papeete to Nukuhiva, they were required to get on a boat to travel from one side of the island to the other, since the airport is on the opposite side of the island from the main town, and there is no road. Nukuhiva is the largest of the Marquesas Islands of French Polynesia and has a population around 2,600 people.
Il est 3h15, plus une demi-heure.
Sorry, later here? It's later? Maybe order.
Yes.
Looks like something out of Conrad on the Congo, but it's going to take us to Taioha'i. I'm in Nukuhiva. I dragged my bed to the middle of the room because I saw a centipede last night, and centipedes, so I've heard, so I was told, are attracted by body warmth. So I made sure that the fan dissipates my body warmth so the centipede cannot locate me. Here's the horseshoe bay of Taioha'i in Nukuhiva. This is where Herman Melville jumped ship in 1842 and with a companion made it over those mountains right there. Took him 2 or 3 days into the valley of the Taipes, where he lived for a couple of months among the cannibals. This is the jail in Nukuhiva. I guess too much carousing on a Saturday night would get you in this place.
This guy, he raised chicken for eggs. They don't have planes.
the breadfruit tree, and the breadfruit is not ripe yet. They're small. Here's a huge mango tree on church property, full of mangoes. The Europeans who discovered Nuku Hiva all agreed that it was a paradise. No money, no jail, no floggings, no brutality. The people worked only for the necessities of life, spent their days in lovemaking, dancing and sports, lived for the moment in harmony with nature, and were peaceful and happy. But it wasn't perfect, it wasn't heaven. For example, to preserve their culture from generation to generation, the Nuku Hivans had to resort to infanticide. This horrified the European carriers of the Judeo-Christian ethic, go forth and multiply. So they condemned the practice as uncivilized, as immoral, and felt superior. But it came to pass that the moral, civilized people multiplied exceedingly, ran out of space, food, air, and water, and had to go elsewhere and commit genocide. These are the stone sculptures for which the Nuku Hivans are famous. Or infamous. Here's a new monument to Herman Melville and the book he wrote when he lived here. That's when it was erected.
Oh, that's Toby on the right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Toby.
Yes, it says. Yeah.
Oh, Toby. Toby is, yeah. Toby, yeah, okay. And Tomo, yeah, Tomo. Tomo, they call it, they just call it.
Right.
Dedicated July 9th.
And Melville there on the left. I don't want this kind of man's tattoo, just a fraction of that tattoo on my ankle. That's what I want. That's what I've come all the way to get. Now we see yachts, but imagine an American sailing ship tacking into this beautiful bay. In October 1813, the U.S. frigate Essex, captained by David Porter, did just that. He wrote, "The first Nuku Hivans came alongside in a canoe. Their bodies were entirely naked, and their chief ornament consisted in the dark and fanciful lines formed by tattooing, which covered them. This bay was so beautiful that Captain David Porter claimed it for the United States of America on 19th of November, 1813. The French had claimed it, the English had claimed it, why not the Americans? Captain Porter wrote that he was, quote, influenced by considerations of humanity, which promised speedy civilization to a race of men who enjoy every mental and bodily endowment which nature can bestow. He wrote out the claim and buried it in a bottle at the foot of the flagstaff, right over there somewhere. A copy, together with several pieces of money of the coin of the United States, gave his claim credence. Porter sailed into this bay with in several ships and 400 men. They had to be fed, so they demanded tribute from the natives. When the natives were reluctant to provide it, they punished them. And as the Americans had muskets and the Nuku Hivans only spears, the outcome was quickly decided. The Nuku Hivans fought among themselves, but as Captain Porter observed, they fight for weeks and sometimes months without killing anyone on either side, mostly skirmishing and bragging and posturing. After Captain Porter had been here a week or so, he began to make observations. He said the women were not subjected to any laborious work. The women make cloth, take care of the house and children. The men build canoes, fish, and carve ornaments. He wrote that all the men are artificers, and as they have but few wants, they are perfect in the knowledge necessary to supply them. To be sure, he said, there are certain professional trades which they are not all so perfect in, such as tattooing and the manufacturing of ornaments for the ears. For those objects, there are men who devote their whole attention to render themselves perfect. They made fish hooks out of mother of pearl, and out of the skin of the devilfish, they make their drum heads. They also use shark skin for sandpaper. Captain Porter made war on the Taipis, a tribe that lives across the valley, across that mountain. And he had a huge cannon from his ship hauled up by the natives. He didn't think they could do it, but they did it in only a couple of days. Hauled it up to the top of the mountain. There's my brother going over to under a mango tree. And picking up fruit. They only got cars here 11 years ago. Before that, everybody rode horses. I meant to say 25 years ago, not 11 years ago. I had dinner in this restaurant last night, and when I paid the bill, I was going to leave a small tip, and they refused it. And that's a custom, a nice custom that has not been wiped out.